So again, happy Father's Day to all of you, to the masculine and the feminine that harmonizes us right here, right now. So a father's love, if we look through the eyes of the ego, can look very different for all of us, right? Some of us are blessed to have these loving fathers that are there supporting in us and loving us through life and setting these beautiful examples for us, and we honor that. And we are grateful for that blessing if that's what we had. But what about those that didn't have that? And what if they knew when they had the lack of that love, that humanly love? What if they knew of source, of the love of source? What if they connected to that? Would their life have been different, even though their human father was maybe absent, abandoned them, mistreated them, or loved them? Would that have looked different? Or was that kind of a father's love from a brokenness of their own? From a collective consciousness that had come down with them through lifetimes? What if they were broken? What if they didn't know how to love like that? Could we look through the eyes of God, of Source, and see them differently? Would it matter to us that there was a reason that they were unable to love us unconditionally? What if they were our Savior? What if their mission, their purpose here, was to ignite in you strength? What if they came to serve in that capacity of a lack of love, of a lack of support and commitment to you? What if they knew that you needed that to grow strength and power within you to stand in source and light and love on your own? Because if we look at the world, instead of seeing us as victims, as things are happening to us, and knowing that they're happening for us, there's no mistakes. There's no bad. It's all good. I've said this many times. Every single emotion you have is there for you to feel something, to ascend above something. It is coming to your experience to assist you, not to be against you. So that's why we learn how to practice releasing what is not serving us. And if a father that has left us wounded, we have to find ways to release that and to stand in our own masculine strength, connected to the love and light of Source. Unconditional love, no expectations whatsoever. For you to just be. So let's look at this parent wound. We want to understand the woundedness that we go through in life. When our heart feels so broken. What happens when this happens to us? We close our heart, don't we? We shut down. We start building walls. We start building blocks. We start going into survival mode. How can I protect myself? I don't want to ever feel that. I don't want to ever feel the abandonment again. And that's what's happened to the world. We stopped feeling. And I don't think we really ever have felt. We've never really had permission to feel. If we go back into the past, we've never had the freedom or the permission to really feel our stuff and it to be okay to be vulnerable and crying all over the place. We've never had that permission. We were always told, don't cry, be strong. You're a big girl. so we continue to block that beautiful heart, that love and light that we are. So now, guess what? We're at a time now where the light is coming in so rapidly and so beautifully, and there's no dimensions that we have to work through. It's right here. Source is right here beaming down on us. And our hearts are opening up so that we can send above victimhood, abandonment, or the beautiful love that some of us may have had as a child. But it's here now. It's time now. No more waiting. It is time to remove the blocks and that woundedness that may have come from our parents. And knowing, I have learned a lot from my own situation. I had a father that lost his wife at 25. And he had these 3 little bitty girls. Well, he didn't know what they had to do with us. So he left. He lived in the same house, but I never saw him. And today, when I carried all of this anger and sadness and abandonment, I carried that with me my whole life. And when you come to a place of love, you start to feel compassion, and you look, my God, look at this man who was this young man, these 3 little girls who looked just like his wife. Of course he didn't know what to do. Of course he was scared. Of course he had to leave every day and go out and work just to keep his mind and his little heart from breaking in front of everybody. So today I have great compassion because I have shifted from seeing myself as this victim to seeing myself with compassion and kindness for another soul. And that shift and that perception has changed my life. Not only for myself, but for others. So inner child reparenting. Our inner child work is continual. We have this beautiful little inner child that maybe didn't feel that love. Didn't know that she was okay and that she was worthy and that she was enough. And those are my big things. A lack of worthiness. A feeling unworthy and feeling like I'm not enough. Those are my 2 biggies. So how do I become the parent? How do I become that love and that light for this little being that felt so hurt and so abandoned? So we do a lot of inner work here. Inner child work, yes. We do a lot of that work here because it is so important to create safety for this hurt little soul. That is, you are the power now. You are the source now. You open your heart and you guide that inner child to the love that she is. So we have to become the parent. We have to let go, and we have to release any and all feelings that connect us to that victimhood, that connect us to that lack. And once we're able to release that, and it takes work. I don't even like to use the word work. It's an evolution. It's the way we evolve by just taking one step at a time in the direction of that love for self. It has to begin in self, capital S. So many people work out here. They try to help others before they're ever capable of doing that. If they do not have that love of self and that protection and safety that they've created within this little child within, how can you be genuine and authentic in radiating that out to others? So this is a very important time for our self-healing, our self-love and care. And that's what we're creating here on Wednesdays and Saturdays. What can we do every week to pay attention to that beautiful self and to learn how to love that self? Because we haven't had those tools, but you have them now. And like the song was in the opening, I choose love. Every day that you wake up, you have a choice of what your day's going to be like. What glasses are you going to look through? What perception are you going to have of the world around you? And if you are connecting to the love of self, that's what you will see out here. You will see the love. You're connecting to the fear and the lack of that love of self. You're going to see the victimhood. You're going to see the sadness, the brokenheartedness. Is it okay that that's going on? You better believe it. We need hearts to break. We need hearts to cry. We are inviting people when they come here to our groups, cry. Anytime I see someone just barely cry, I go to them and I give them permission and I allow them to cry and I create this safe place for them. Cry. Let it out. Feel your feelings. Feelings are our intuitive nature of talking to us. That's how we know what's going on. From our feelings. Don't shut them down. They're beautiful. And once we're okay with crying in front of people, how many people cried yesterday? We cried and then we were laughing at the same time. It's beautiful when you see someone cleanse and that heart open up and those cracks open up and that light start flowing out of their heart. It's the most beautiful thing. That's what it's all about. That's what we are creating. We have right now, I read Julie's post and the eclipse was resetting. She talked about how right now we have this energy to reset, to recreate. And then you talked about the new moon. We have the new moon, new beginnings. This is our time. You know, we have learned here at Unity how powerful we are and that we create our reality by thoughts held in our mind, right? And the feelings that we hold. So we know how to manifest a beautiful reality. So now with this light pouring down from the great sun, you have all this added vibrational frequencies. Start creating. What is it? What do you have come here to do? You all know what it is. You have a passion. You know what that is. And I've learned something. I've never really understood like intuition, you know, like when I would say something or ask for something or whatever. I didn't realize it's that very first thought that comes to your mind. And it comes so quick. And then once you lose that thought, guess what? And that's what it feels like to me. Chatter, 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 chatter. So when you get that first thought, like I want to know what my spirit guide's name was. My main principal one. And I heard Noah. Now, before I realized how important that first thought was, I would have gone off and thought, well, that doesn't work. I ain't getting nothing out of that, just a bunch of chatter. So that's when you become so aware, you develop a discipline that creates clarity. There's no more fogginess. And that's what we're learning, and that's what we're teaching, and that's what we are. So the miracle of gratitude is that it shifts your perception to such an extent that it changes the world you see. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. You all hear me say thank you 3 times always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gratitude is affirming your love for whatever it is. And guess what? The gratitude you have creates more of what you're grateful for. Right? So if you just go through life and you just let it happen and flow, okay, well, no telling what'll flow in and out. But if you focus on what you're grateful for, you're going to magnify that just with the thought of gratitude, with the heart of gratitude. So when you start recreating your reality, and you start resetting your life, be careful and be grateful for only what you want in your reality. And today, I want to be grateful for the fathers that loved, for the fathers that supported, for the fathers that were there, that gave up their time and energy. And I also am grateful for the wounded fathers who had these precious beings who did not know love because they did not know love. I'm grateful for them. And today we're going to go through a little intense meditation. I have invited you to bring your pictures of your father. If you did not bring a picture of your father, I would like you to write it on a piece of paper. Who brought a picture of their father? Anybody? I kind of sent that out late last night because sometimes Spirit doesn't guide me to what to do until the day before. So I didn't really know what I was going to do. So I brought this picture of my father. This is my mother, and I'm in her belly. So this sits by my bed, and it's just a beautiful picture of their love before they had any children and before she became ill with cancer. So this is a very special picture to me. But I grew up with a lot of parent woundedness, and I have healed from that, and I'm grateful for that. Some of you may still feel a lot of woundedness that we want to address today. We're here to heal, and that's what these services are about. I'm not up here to preach to you and tell you what to do. I am here to assist you in your ascension. The best way that I know how through my own experiences and whatever I'm intuitively guided.
How do you want me to
We're going to write down a piece of
but
paper.
I didn't know my dad. He left
Oh.
us to be babies, so.
Okay, well then you'll just hold that within your heart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I've got some paper back here. And the reason we're taking this kind of action step here is because when we put action to anything, it sets your intention a little bit deeper. You know, that's our human stuff, you know. Yes, it's your dad's name.
Three dads?
Well, I've had a ton of dads in my life. They don't have to be blood.
Lisa, do I put down my biological father or who was really my father?
Okay.
Oh.
You follow your heart as.
Well, I'm kind of a little bit torn.
Put him up there.
You can heal the whole gauntlet of fathers.
Well, my granddad was my real father.
Yeah,
My father was ours.
Yeah. There's no right or wrong here. Just
So
whatever
when I
you're
think of my
guiding.
dad, I think of my granddad. But then how should I think of my dad?
Well, you can't ask people that.
Well,
That
my
has to come
children
from
are
within your heart.
Wait, I need a pencil.
Oh, sorry.
Is there a wound you would like to
Yeah,
have
Lisa,
healed with
Lisa,
your
do you want me to
biological
put
father?
down, John and Jack?
Would you like to say a prayer for him?
No,
To release
your
any
biological
resistance you might still be carrying?
Well, I know
with
his
him?
name's Jack.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you are okay when you hear his name, is there any reaction that is Doesn't feel good?
No,
And that's okay. Then we're just gonna,
but Barnabas is
okay.
And some of you may not have, any woundedness from your parents, and that's okay too. We're gonna go in meditation and, see what comes up. So, let's just first we wanna get relaxed. Anytime you begin meditation, you want relaxation. There are Kleenexes at the end of your seats.
We're sharing them.
I really invite you, if you feel something coming up, please let it out. You are safe here. There's no judgment here. You're not any safer than you'd be anywhere else except alone. And the energy here is so high. This is the perfect time for release, okay? And so just know that. Please allow yourself to let that feeling come forward, okay? So let's get comfortable in our seats. Feel the support of your chair. The support that you always, always have, that you're supporting yourself even though you may not even be aware of it. You're supporting yourself because you are one with that source within you. So that comes from you. So now let's take 3 really deep cleansing breaths. And I mean breathe down into your abdomen, expand it out, circle it up, and blow it out. Release it. Christine, go ahead and put that softly on. Now I want you to envision your feet and your tailbone. Whatever connects you to the earth. You can use tree roots. I like to use the crystal light or rope. Just see that coming from your feet and your tailbone, creating that trinity and going down into Mother Earth's core. And we're wrapping ourselves around her crystal core. And then we come back up again. And we allow that light to come up through our spinal cord. And we open up the crown as Source, the great Son of Source, comes streaming down through the crown and connects at the heart, the crystal light of love. And let's get that image within your being right now. I invite you to take your Father placed on your heart. We open our hearts here today to release any and all parent woundedness that we may have. We invite this release into a safe, sacred time and space. We ask Spirit to open our hearts to whatever we need to feel about the presence of this beautiful, precious soul that brought us in to the world. So take this opportunity here to ask, listen, feel what is coming up for you. We're going to pause here for a few minutes as you allow that to surface for you.